Do you see what Glenn Greenwald tweeted recently? Let me see if I can find this. Because we're going to rag on the media now.
About journalism?
Glenn Greenwald tweeted.
Give me more.
If you think the real power centers in the U.S. are the Proud Boys, 4chan, and Boogaloos, rather than the CIA, FBI, NSA, Wall Street, and Silicon Valley, and spend most of your time battling the former while serving the latter as stenographers, your journalism is definitely ish.
Accurate.
Yeah.
How
we don't
weird-
swear, so don't family friendly, right?
How weird is it that a hardcore conservative like me is saying, yeah, Glenn Greenwald got a good point.
Yeah, right.
I mean, this
Well-
guy is not a conservative like I am.
Definitely not. He's progressive.
No, but you know, I think we have a common framework where we want institutions that function.
You know, we've been talking about this a little bit. We've talked about it before, moral frameworks. And we were talking about how the United States is founded upon a Judeo-Christian moral framework.
Yes.
Whether or not secular individuals realize it or not, when they say things like, I don't get my morals from the Bible, you actually do. Like, you were raised in a culture that valued certain things, free speech,
Yes.
classical liberalism. If you grew up in China, you'd have a different set of beliefs. If you grew up in India, if you grew up in Pakistan, the people there have a different culture and different set of beliefs. You didn't naturally come to the ideas of classical liberalism. It actually took a very long time, and the American Revolution was proof of that. I bring that up because what I think we're seeing is, why is it a staunch conservative like yourself is sitting here going like Glenn Greenwald is correct? Well, it's because your moral framework is based on the similar ideas.
True.
Or mostly the same. While you disagree on a ton of policy and political ideas,
Exactly.
you come from a similar root moral framework.
Yeah.
These woke leftists and all these Democrats have a completely different moral framework.
Exactly. They have completely rejected it. And that is one of the reasons our institutions are collapsing. They're I call it cultural trust fund babies, right? None of these guys built these institutions. The institutions all really came into being before or after World War II. You look at academia, right? They haven't changed that much. You look at a college today, the way they teach, and a college the way they taught in 1946. Yeah, you got some video and stuff now, but essentially it's some guy standing in the front of the room in front of a bunch of hungover students, yapping at them. All our institutions, from the news media to the Department of Justice, academia, even the NFL, they're all tired and exhausted, and they are run by the cultural trust fund babies. Look at the Kennedys. John F. Kennedy, kind of a dynamic guy. Third generation Kennedys, they're at a crack house. I mean, and that's the who are these guys who run things? They haven't achieved anything. They didn't build it, except the tech guys. They kind of did. So that's a little different. But other than tech, all the institutions are run by people who didn't build them, didn't create them, and are frankly unworthy. They're just inheritors.
They say
they got a credential.
They say generational wealth only lasts 3 generations.
Bingo.
You've got the first generation that earns it.
Yep.
The children who saw their parents working.
Yep.
And then the grandkids who have no idea and just got money and lived with it.
Bingo. And they are squandering that inheritance. Now these guys, they think that this whole American thing where they live prosperous and safe is like the natural state of being.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, get out more. Okay, you've been to the favelas, I hope I pronounced that right, in
favelas.
Brazil.
Yeah, I've been to Complexo do Alemão.
Yeah.
The biggest favela complex.
Yeah, not a lot like America.
It's getting better, but you're right.
But it's a very different state of nature.
They pacified them. That's what it was called.
Yes.
When was it the Bopi? Or it might have been the Core. There's these two different SWAT groups. They went in with big guns.
And they killed everybody who got in the way.
Exactly, yeah.
The thing is, they because they didn't build it, because they didn't suffer to create it, they didn't earn it. They're squandering it, and they think it's always going to be there for them. But if things degenerate to the natural state of man, which is power, I think they've got a problem.
Oh, definitely.
Because a lot of these people are not particularly well suited to a world where life is nasty, brutish, and short.
They don't think it exists. Let me tell you. One of the first lessons of being like a CD hustler, music hustler in the street. You may have seen these people back when CDs were bigger. They're walking around the city and they got a stack of CDs and like, yo, here, buy my CD. And you're like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what your music is. Why would I buy your CD? There's a reason why they don't give the CD away. They want you to listen to their music, but they know they give you the CD for free. You know what you're going to do?
You're going to throw it away.
Throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
But if you give them $1 for it, now you're like, I bought this. Like I don't want to.
At least gotta listen to it.
Yeah, well, it's something of value that I had to work for. You give it to them for free, and they don't value it at all.
And you put it on. It's My Chemical Romance, and you go, "Damn it! I wish I'd thrown it away."
Well, I don't think My Chemical Romance is going around selling CDs in the street.
I don't know. Maybe they should. Are they still a thing?
Yes, they are.
I don't know. Oh, they are? Lydia
Maybe
knows.
like really? Was it 17 years ago? Maybe.
I don't know. It's like a crappy band,
All right, all right.
Nickelback is easy, but
Just offend all the millennials.
I'd rather go with the My Chemical Romance. Don't they play a song that everyone plays at prom? I don't know.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know.
Very
I'm a
emo.
Replacements and Clash guy.
Emo.
So
Yeah.
Well, so anyway, this is it's a really I think it's a really important point because we were talking a lot about this yesterday with depressed millennials, how
Yes.
they don't work, they sit around all day, and then you were mentioning something interesting. You were saying that for many of these people, the lockdown is like their Woodstock.
It is, and I'm going to write about this at Town Hall on Monday. This is excitement. Look, why are dystopian novels so and entertainment so exciting? Why do people actually put up with watching The Walking Dead? Because it shows them what a world would be like that they're in, but actually has challenges, has risks. Human beings like excitement. Look, you were telling me a little earlier about how you got gassed by tear gas.
Oh yeah.
Let's look at it objectively. What kind of lunatic goes towards a chemical irritant? I did when I was in the Army. I volunteered, and then we were like, okay, now you got to go in this chemical, this little hut, and we're going to burn CS and make your eyes water. And we're like, no. But secretly, we're like, if I do that, I'm pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you went towards it too.
Well, so
now, there's a reason.
We're trying to document what's going on in these conflicts. So I was in Brazil. I've been in a bunch of different conflicts in the U.S., riots and stuff. Brazil, substantially more brutal. And the gist of the story was, in the U.S., I see all of these activists, all these lefties, getting probably the lowest grade CS smoke I've ever experienced in my life. And it's like your eyes are
CS
watering.
for kids. It's the kids pop of chemical irritants.
And well, the police say it's not even tear gas. Oh, it's just smoke. Don't worry. But it is an irritant. It is tear gas. It's just the lowest grade. And I see these people like coughing and gagging and crying and everything. This stuff is nothing. When I was in Brazil, they used like the top tier military grade stuff that was so intense. Like the guy I'm with has got like just snot pouring out of his face, and he's braving through it because he's been in actual war. His eyes are swollen. I'm sitting there. I ripped my sweaty sock off, shoved it in my mouth, and we run through the smoke to keep filming. The Brazilian rioters, they did the same thing. Like these people have seen real hardship and real conflict.
Oh yeah.
These American, they're soft, man.
Americans are soft. See, that was the purpose. A lot of hard people did a lot of hard work to allow a generation not to have to do any of that. But the problem is human beings, it's like if you don't exercise, you get fat and lazy. But mentally, you also get kind of fat and lazy if you're not challenged. That's why, people do extreme sports, do skateboarding. You get screwed up skateboarding. You can get hurt. And you don't do that because, but you do it anyway. Because it fills a need inside you, and I think some of the Antifa stuff is a little bit of that too. Of course,
they want conflict.
Yeah, but
they
it's
want to fight a
baby-proof
war.
conflict.
Right?
They know they know the charges are going to get dropped.
Yep.
They know the cop's not going to shoot them.
That's why we call it LARPing.
It is.
It's really funny. I was at one of these protests. It was a riot/protest. It was a riot because Antifa showed up and attacked people. But it was it was like Patriot Prayers, a bunch of right-wing groups singing religious songs in a federal park in Portland. Antifa showed up with weapons and bricks, and they were chanting Nazi LARPers at the right-wingers who didn't even pay attention to anything they were saying. The right-wing group showed up literally to have an event to be religious. It was like a religious event. Antifa showed up thinking they were Nazis, accusing them of being LARPing, live action role play.
Yes.
And I'm talking to these people and I'm like, you realize they don't know or care about who you are or what you're doing. They're singing songs about Jesus. Literally, they were singing songs about Jesus and America. You guys have shown up dressed in black with weapons, thinking you're fighting in a war. You're live action role playing. There's no war. It's just like there's a 50-year-old guy there with a beard and he's talking about why he likes religion. He's not talking about oppressing anybody. You guys have shown up to attack and beat people. This is what they do. They need a purpose. Their lives are meaningless.
Yes.
And so they found something to fill the void. So they go around thinking they're fighting this grand battle as la resistance, when in reality, the cops are like, oh, these dumb kids. The charges get dropped. They get told to go home. At a certain point, you've got to punish the kids. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying lengthy prison sentences or beatings or anything like that. I'm saying at a certain point, you arrest them, you charge them, and then they get, 2 weeks in jail or something, or a month in jail, whatever the penalty is for burning down buildings and smashing windows.
Right now, it's baby-proofed. It's baby-proof. They know they're not going to get hurt. And what really chaps me is watching what's happening with the Capitol Hill people from January 6th.
Yeah, they're getting the bricks thrown at
them. They're getting the book thrown at them, and then guys in Portland are getting tossed out. There's got to be one standard. You can't have to. It is unsustainable to have two standards. History teaches that. For God's sake, people, don't flush what we have here down the toilet for your short-term gain.
No. You don't understand. See, all these dumb people who go around LARPing don't realize they're the useful idiots for those that want the system torn down by any means necessary. That's their intent.
And then built up with them in charge.
Yes, but it's not so much like, I know many of these people. I've spoken with them during Occupy Wall Street. The way they described it was, they said, we want to flip the pyramid over. Most people, when they hear that, make a very simple assumption. You have the pyramid with the wealthy on top, and on the bottom is the working class. You flip it over, and now the working class are on top. You know what I said? If you took a stack of bricks in the shape of a pyramid, flipped it over, it'll crumble into a crude pyramid.
Yes.
It'll crumble into a pile of bricks with one of the working class on top. And they went, exactly. That's going to be us.
Yeah, that's going to be us. Me
That's
and my pals.
Yeah. So they're not talking about taking the system, and they're quite literally talking about burning everything you hold dear to the ground and then standing on top of the rubbles and yelling at you to go fetch them water and food. They know the end result of this will be total chaos and destruction. They want it because to them, being the king of chaos is better. It's a higher standard of living than they are as a working class individual. So maybe there's, hundreds of millions of working class people in this country. They don't care. They think that they'd be better off doubling their net worth if they would make themselves the richest people in the country with a net worth of $100 if it meant they were the richest person in the world. They would destroy everything just to be on top of everybody else. It is absolute corruption and drive for power.
No, I think you're correct. And I also think that they have not thought this through particularly well. There are, history is rife with examples of people pushed too far. And right now we have a system where people still believe in the system at essence. People are still using the court system. They're still using the law. They're still appealing to the media. And it doesn't always work, and it doesn't work the way it should. But it's not complete chaos yet. But boy, what if it was? And people realized, I've got nothing to lose. Then you start seeing really ugly potential stuff. And that's what we have to stop. That's.
But you know what? These Antifa types and far leftists actually will survive a lot better than your average American. Now, I don't mean conservatives, like the conservatives who are paying attention to news, who know how to use guns and know how to actually be out in the wilderness and do hard work. Well, they're going to be in the top tier. Let's say the entire country breaks down for some reason, and it's just chaos. Survivalists are going to be the kings of the castle. They've already got their castles, they already got their food, and they don't need nothing from you, and they're armed to the teeth. You're going to have a series of conservative groups and ex-military who are going to be doing very, very well organizing. They've already got their friends. They've already got their training. They'll harden up, plus the militias. Regular liberals will be at the very bottom. Antifa will be above them. These regular urban city types who've never fired a gun, who've never grown food, who just work in their office job will have no skill translatable to the real world in terms of survival.
It is, I remember reading Max Brooks' World War Z, which is a very entertaining book.
Yeah.
And there is a scene in there where a rich lady is being taught how to clean houses, and by her former maid. Right, the whole society is broken down into a dystopian thing. Society's broken down, and the maid is teaching this woman how to clean houses because everybody's got to have a skill because everybody's got to work. Okay, you can't be a diversity consultant anymore. We don't need any more gender studies teachers. We need somebody who knows how to disinfect a toilet so people don't get sick. Field sanitation's an important thing, and that just struck me. A lot of these people rely on the framework of society that they're busy supporting the people undermining.
That's right.
And It's baffling to me.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.